Okay, so we're going to continue with finding your Everest. In this video, we are going to look at lines 34 through 52. Our close reader asks us to underline a medical claim. A claim is a position or opinion, or an opinion. I like to think of a claim as something you can either agree or disagree with. So we are looking for a medical claim about the dangers of mountain climbing to a 13-year-old. Once we've found that claim, we're going to look for a counter argument or a counterclaim. So we're going to interact with two claims here. One that tells us that mountain climbing at that age is dangerous, and one that tells us maybe it's not so dangerous. So we need to find both of those. The first one we're going to underline, the second one we are going to circle. And then we are also going to read an opinion that's given by another mountain climber, and we want to underline that when we encounter it. Okay, so three things that we want to pay attention to. You will note that I have underlined and circled some things. You can look at what I have underlined, and you can also think to yourself what you think is important to make note of. It was the Mount Everest ascent, when Jordan was only 13 years old, that has created the greatest controversy. And over here, I've made a note. Controversy in this context means disagreement or debate. Jordan's feat as the youngest person to reach the top of the world was publicized around the world. How young is too young? Asked one newspaper headline. Many mountain climbers and medical experts questioned whether a 13-year-old boy could climb so high. Mount Everest is almost 30,000 feet high without physically harming his body. Dr. Michael Bradley, a psychologist and expert on teen behavior, noted, most 13-year-olds don't have the wiring to make cognitive life and death decisions and are not truly able to understand what they're signing on for. I just want to pause really quickly here. Cognitive is an interesting word. I would copy down what I've written, having to do with critical thinking, acquiring knowledge and processing it. So cognition is the act of acquiring knowledge and processing it, and cognitive is just a form of that word, and it means relating to acquiring knowledge and processing it. So this doctor here is making a claim that most 13-year-olds don't have that wiring in their brains to make the life and death decisions with full understanding. Another physician, Dr. Peter Hackett, reported that there are conflicting opinions about the effects on a young brain. Some theories say that a young brain is more resilient. Others say that it may be more vulnerable. Many climbers take exception to the publicity surrounding Team Jordan. Everest climber Todd Burleson summed it up by saying he's got his whole life to climb Everest. Being the youngest boy to climb is fashionable, celebrity-oriented sort of thing. But it's not about the mountains. It's like trying to get your PhD at 10. Okay, so that is the end of that chunk, but before we end this video, let's take a look at what it's asking us to do down here. So it says reread lines 49 through 52, which is this section right here. Oops. And it wants you to discuss with a small group. If you can talk to someone, that's great. If not, just kind of think on your own for a few minutes. Whether the evidence that Tom Burleson cites is sufficient to support his opinion that Jordan and his family are publicity seekers. So in this section here, Todd Burleson, who's the other mountain climber, has claimed that he's doing this because it's fashionable, because he's trying to get attention. Is there enough evidence to support what Todd Burleson is saying here? So think about that, and then I will see you in the last video.